Welcome back to Walsall Fan TV, the joy and the pain. And today, special guest, Keith Holmes.
Hiya.
And Dave Evans.
Hiya.
Right then, so you are the man, or you are the men, responsible
right.
for Take Me Home Wednesbury Road.
That's right, yeah.
So, memories from 1966 to 1980. How did it all come about, this book?
What it was, obviously, I got finished work, got time on my hands, and I just thought, I'm a big book collector, football books, and I just read hundreds and hundreds of books, and I just thought, there's a book in everybody, just getting that book out.
They say that, don't they, a book in everybody? But having the idea of a book to actually completing a book is a whole different world,
Well,
isn't it?
what I did, I thought, what sort of books? I'm from the 60s and 70s, and I just thought there's nothing about Walsall in that period. Okay,
Yeah.
We didn't win anything. We had some tremendous cup runs. The vibe of the place was different to today, and I just thought to myself, if nobody's going to do it, I'll better go doing it, really.
That's a great philosophy for life, isn't it? If something's needed to sort of get it out there, and if nobody's going to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So it's a bully for you for going for that.
And then I think, obviously, another thing was I was talking to my son one day, and I was telling him about various away games. Not that he's really into football, and I told him about the first story that I've come to on this book, and he says, "You want to tell people that?" And I thought, "Yeah, I ought to do." And I told, like Dave, a friend of mine, and I told him, and he said, "Go for it."
Yeah, that's it. And Dave, you got involved, didn't you, with the process?
Yeah, I sort of loaned Keith some of my books out of my archive, done the stats at the back, and just helped him to edit the book.
It's quite I know for myself from my books, editing is sort of the biggest challenge of the lot, isn't it?
It was quite difficult because Dave's fanatical about capital letters, which is right, capital letters, commas in the right place, full stops, which I wasn't. And this is really the times when I'd give him what I'd wrote the night before, and he'd come back and almost had to do it time and time again.
50 mistakes on each page.
Which is right.
But you in your job, you're a painter and decorator, aren't you? And you've got a bit of a story about that, haven't you? About one Walsall hero.
My two all-time favourite players, obviously Alan Buckley and Colin Harrison. Colin is a guy who lives in Norton Keynes, from where I'm from. And obviously he was out of work. He got a job, and I got talking to him one day, and he says, "I'll do a bit of painting." And I says, "They all say that." But he come along, and he was with me for about 10 months, a year, and obviously great company. Talk about Walsall, general thing. It was like, say, you want a bad painter either.
I bet he got some. Did you get some stories from Colin then?
You do, you have to.
You be careful what you can use, of course. Yeah.
No, and also Colin won't slag nobody off, so you get no juicy stories.
Yeah.
Everybody was a good player.
I think people have changed over the years, haven't they?
And he wouldn't run anybody down. Never. I don't think I ever heard him.
True gentleman. Yeah.
But he's like I say, I see him occasionally now. And obviously, he's bought one of the books off me, which I'm pleased with. As Stan Bennett says, Stuart Rimmer, one or two lesser-known players.
Yeah. Well, and the books available in the club shop. They've been really good. They're not taking any profit.
No, they've been absolutely fantastic.
And all of the funds from this are going to the Parkinsons.
Parkinsons UK. Like I say, we took the printing costs out of it, and every penny profit's gone straight to the charity.
That's fair play, that is. That's fair play.
So we had nothing out of it at all. And we don't want nothing. It's just been a pleasure to do.
Yeah, and
favourable.
Could you obviously want people to buy the book, but can you give us a little story from the book as an insight?
Well, the first one, the first away match was 1967 at the club at Bury away, and I spent the night in a room in a workman's club in Stoke with a monkey.
With a monkey?
A live monkey.
Hey, how did that happen?
Well, what it is, I was on there's a coach full of 52 boozers from the BRD, where my dad worked.
Yeah.
And he took me along, and obviously we went to the match. Obviously called it this club in Stoke, and I wouldn't get no kids allowed, so I couldn't be in the main room. The alternative was we had to find somewhere else, which was going to be difficult because we booked up, or I found a room for me at the back. Well, that was fine until I opened the door, and in the cage was a live monkey. So I spent the night with him. So that was the first story.
The world has changed somewhat, hasn't it?
But like I said, I didn't mind. So I was 9 or 10 at the time. I had a great, although we'd lost, it's normal. I had a great day.
It's normal.
a great day, and like I say, I wouldn't bother me, but like I say, that was the first one of the stories, and there's a few more after that.
If there's many more like that, that is going to be an absolute treat.
It's actually jam-packed with all sorts of stories.
Another one, we went to a match, friendly against Worcester City in the 70s with a car full of pigeons. So there's things the things that don't happen today, because you go on the coach, you get to the match, the shepherd you out. The times we broke down was horrendous. The windows that went through the car. I don't talk much about the hooliganism, although it was all the rage. I used to only a little bit, but most of the time, if you didn't get your windows put through on the coach away game in the 70s, you were lucky.
Well, I think I've got a memory of that when it's just I know you've covered here 1966 to 80, when Walsall played Liverpool in the Milk Cup semi-final, the first leg at Anfield. I was on the coach, and there's bricks hitting the couch on the way out.
As well,
and that was scary times. I quite like the when we get to away days. By driving up, you can sort of experience the place a little bit more.
Yeah.
When you got just on the couch, if you like to have a drink and that sort of stuff, it's perfect for you. And for those who don't want to drive,
Sorry.
And but it's one of those. It works for everybody, I suppose, for different people. For me, not living in Walsall, if I was to catch the coach, I'd have like a half an hour drive to get to the coach. Yeah. So it's sort of, by the time I've done that, I'm sort of well on the way to going and that sort of thing.
Yeah. There's another instance when we went to Portsmouth one day, and coming back to the city centre, Birmingham, 12 o'clock midnight, full of drunken bugs. And it was the day that the riots went up at Newcastle, against Glasgow Rangers. Hundreds of people around 12 o'clock at night just waiting to get back on coaches to Scotland. As I say, the times have changed.
Yeah. It's the thing is, like, the modern era, it's a little bit crazy, isn't it? But there's plenty of craziness went on there as well, isn't there? Yeah,
like I say, you also have this feeling of the hooliganism ruining the game, or so much part of it. But I think if you didn't want to get involved with that, it was mainly for people who did want to get involved.
Yeah, there's people who organised people.
You couldn't help but see it, you know what I mean? It was there.
And that's scary, really, to sort of be around that kind of stuff. But something that gladly is well behind us. Are you going to follow this up with anything? Are you going to do 1980 to 2000?
I've had one or two ask me that, but I don't know. Because it's harder work than people realise. You know, it takes a lot of time.
And I think a lot of the early stories are quite sort of iconic stories for that time, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, obviously I was single at the time of year, so it didn't matter. Going to a match, I come back the next day. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I say, I don't know. I might do, but we'll see. We'll have a chat about it.
It depends whether how much response we get from this. If we buy more of these copies, you might get more of Keith's stories. That's what we want, isn't it? That's what we want.
We'll see. We'll see how it's good.
So, as thinking more from the editing side of it, Dave.
Yeah.
That's quite a challenge, isn't it? Sort of pulling all that together.
It is, yeah.
You don't want to change the voice. You don't want to change the voice from Keith.
We sort of liaised on a few suggestions, didn't we? I think of something which might have sounded better or looked better.
Yeah.
I was also given license to just edit anything as well. So.
Well, like I say, each to the strengths, really. Yeah. I know it's not my strength. I worked paints all my life, so this is totally different. I know Dave isn't an author or works in that bit, but he's obviously better than I am.
Yeah, a fair few articles over the years for newspapers and the club and whatnot.
The thing is, I think it's good that you've collaborated on it to sort of share your strengths to get a better product and that sort of thing.
I think it took about 4 months, didn't it?
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah, I would say
4 months.
Yeah.
Just a couple of hours, well, a few hours.
It took me 4 years to do my first novel.
It's like everything else. Now, when you do it, you think, I wish I'd have done that, or
I wish I'd included that.
And I do think I should have probably gone a little bit longer, but obviously I cut that off because my life changed in 1980. Obviously, I met my wife.
Yeah.
And obviously, I still went to the matches, but I was more there and back.
That's it. He wasn't such
a... What I've tried to do in this as well, because it's primarily a book about following Walsall Football Club. Non-Walsall fans can read it.
Yeah,
because, like I say, it's about the 70s.
that's it. There's some interesting
bit of fashion
articles in there.
Work conditions. I've delved into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I left school quite early. I wish I'd have stopped on, but obviously I didn't. And like
But I say with the painting and that sort of stuff, that's once you've got that trade and you're good at that, developing your trade and building your business.
But like I say, I enjoyed going to school, but I was never any good at it. So obviously, I got into the frame mind, I want to go to work, get some money, and buy records or whatever,
and get paid for your tickets to get to the match.
I mean, I used to buy records before I'd take them to the match with me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that today with LPs. And
they'd let you in.
Like I say, when I was a youth, it was a full. Even the old matches were a full day. I used to leave early in the morning, get to town, get to my nan's.
And that's part of the match day experience. I think on the channel we sort of have a match day vlog, but sometimes it is just sort of like we go for our meal before and that sort of stuff, and then what goes on with the game, and then a little bit of chat after and that. So I understand what you're saying. Away days are best.
Yeah.
But of course, it's the travelling is a challenge sometimes. That's brilliant.
No problem.
That's brilliant. Grab yourself a copy. It's in the club shop.
Thank you.
And support this guy, working very well, boosting funds for Parkinson's as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Simon.
Cheers,
Join the paying. Thanks for watching. Cheers.